One of the greatest difficulties faced by the worldview of naturalism is that it offers no explanation for the existence of the universe.
Except turtles.
Right? Except turtles, or we haven't gotten there yet, but we'll explain it someday. You just have to have faith.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. And thus, no explanation for the existence of anything, because according to naturalism, only the universe exists. So if the universe didn't need to exist, then nothing existed, or it could have existed, or, the universe is dependent, but then you kind of have to make it independent in order for it to exist. But
right.
That doesn't seem to be the case. So the problem is acute. Naturalism forbids any explanation for the existence of the universe, since it insists there's nothing beyond the universe that could explain its existence.
Right. So this is a really, important
Very
point
important,
here, right?
yeah.
Because if indeed the universe is all there is, and the universe is contingent, that is dependent on something else, then how do we explain the existence of the universe, right? If it's all that there is. Well, there has to be no explanation for it, which seems to be a problem, right? There's no explanation for why the universe is here. There's no explanation for, what it's contingent on. It's just here, period. And in fact, if it's the only thing, then there can't be any explanation. Right.
So it's kind of thinking like if you can only explain your lineage from 4 generations back, but you are not allowed to go to the 5th generation. Yeah. So you're like, well,
because there is no 5th generation.
There is none. So wait, where'd the 4th one come from?
But they're all contingent, right?
Right.
So the 4th one is contingent, but there's nothing that it's contingent on. Mm-hmm. Well, then how is it contingent, right?
Yeah. It's the argument against the Immaculate Conception of Mary. Well, Mary couldn't have a sinless person in her so she had to be without original sin. Okay, well, what about her parents? Mm-hmm. Well, that's where we draw the line. Okay, well, why? Okay, so in stark contrast, the Christian worldview faces no such difficulty. That worldview includes 3 fundamental tenets. 1, God exists. 2, it's not God is not a contingent being, so it doesn't depend on something coming before it in order for it to exist. Right. And 3, God freely chooses to use his unlimited power to bring the universe into existence. So again, God exists, God is not a contingent being, and God freely chooses to use his unlimited power to bring the universe into existence. Precisely because God is a fundamentally different kind of being than the universe, the puzzle of existence finds a coherent answer. The universe is not self-existent. It has to derive its existence from some other source, but God, by his very nature, is absolutely self-existent. So the Christian worldview can account for the existence of the universe in a way that the naturalist worldview simply cannot. So, the God exists. He is outside the universe, and he's different than the universe. So he's different than the physical reality that we normally interact with and experience. And so, because he's a different type of being, he doesn't have to be contingent on something, because he exists outside the universe. And by creating the universe, he's able to then bring by being powerful enough, he's able to bring by who he is, he's able to bring the universe into existence. Yeah. So that's the kind of the Christian argument.
Right. So in sum, the obvious truth that something exists, then he tells us, gives us a compelling reason to believe in God. Right. And existence itself then points us to the existence of God. Right. And right. So that is an important point that he wants us to see. The very fact that something exists, the universe exists, points us, and it's contingent, right? Mm-hmm. Points us to God. Right. So existence itself is an argument for God.
Right.
Right.